Something is wrong inside our airports, something you might not have noticed. And after you hear this, you'll never look at your fellow travelers the same again. Have you ever really looked at people in airports? People have a unique body language that you only see in airports. Let's call it the airport shuffle. They walk and sit, the travelers slouch. They stare wide-eyed, often unblinking, at their phones, or assume 1,000-yard stare, looking right past everything and everyone around them. And they all have the same flat, blank expression, an expression that reveals a complete and utter lack of hope. Watch for it the next time you're sitting in a terminal waiting to board your flight. Really take it in. It's a look you won't see anywhere else, and once you recognize it, you won't be able to unsee it. It's the look of people who have no control over their lives. People devoid of all hope, facing the grim certainty that they will wait in line after endless line, no hope of arriving on time, and no guarantee they will arrive at all. But look closer. Your fellow travelers have not merely consigned themselves to countless indignities, endless hours of waiting, and a complete lack of even basic human comforts. No, it is much worse than this. Your fellow travelers have literally consigned themselves to death. They know on some level that they are already dead, and they have accepted this. And there are so many of them. Have you noticed that airports are more crowded than they've ever been? Despite decades of construction and expansion at almost all major airports, coupled with years of declining ticket sales, airports should be spacious and half-empty, majestic techno-cathedrals dedicated to air travel. But that's not what you see, is it? Airports are somehow busier and more crowded, with longer lines, fewer places to sit, and less room to spread out than ever before. Why do you think this is? The skies have not gotten more crowded. There are fewer people flying now than 10 years ago. I have to wonder if these endlessly milling throngs are actually traveling. What if some, or even most, of your fellow travelers are literally lost souls? Disembodied spirits condemned to eternally wander the airport, never leaving, never going anywhere, never reaching their final destination. Look at their faces, the stare, the unsmiling blankness, the despondence, the absence of any hope. These cannot be real living people. These must be disembodied spirits, lost souls. Then there's the actual flight itself. Do you remember back in the day when there were empty seats on every flight, and often flights would only be half full? Remember how on all but the busiest flights, you could count on an empty seat between you and the stinky person assigned to sit next to you? Remember the joy of getting an entire row to yourself? Not anymore. Fewer people are traveling, yet somehow any flight you board, even red eyes in the middle of the night going to the middle of nowhere, are full. Every single seat occupied. I'm sorry, but there's no way that many people are going to the middle of nowhere at 2 a.m. on a Tuesday night. That's just not a thing that actually happens. And all those passengers shuffling by, loading and unloading, pushing oversized carry-ons into two small overhead bins, they all have the same slouch, the same dead-eyed 1,000-yard stare. And let's not talk about the crying baby. The exact same crying baby with the exact same shrill, soul-piercing wail. Always 2 rows away, always crying just as you're going to sleep. Always. On every single flight to every single destination. These are not different babies. This is a single, eternal, soul-eating elder god manifesting on every flight, everywhere, to feed off your misery. These are not living creatures. These are not human beings. These are mere echoes of humans, ghosts, and you've temporarily joined them in their purgatory. They're not there to travel. They're not going anywhere. They simply exist. Their sole purpose to warn you about the sad and pathetic direction your life is going. Grim reminders that unless you make meaningful changes in your life, and soon, you'll end up beside them in this eternal limbo, mindlessly circulate through airports. As you wait to board flights that only take you to other airports you will wander until the end of time. Don't become one of them. Disconnect your devices. Go outside. Live in the real world. Do good things that make a difference. Save your soul from this purgatory of blandness. Seriously, next time you fly, look at the people around you. Really look at them. You don't want to end up like them, do you?